Hello, everyone. My name is Tommy Weir. Thank you all for showing up here and being present with us. For many of you, you know me as the host of Self-Healing Mastery Club in the Clubhouse, and others know me on Facebook and many of the conscious-based groups that we're in. So I have invited you here today to learn about Internet Dominators, which has been created and founded by John Limbacher, who is here with us today. And he, as you can see right here, has been doing this for a very long time, 35 years plus, helping businesses thrive. And he has accumulated over $100 million in online sales. He's one of the best. He's a pioneer of SEO methodology. He's worked with many ad agencies. And he is the creator of ACT, Marketing Protocol. I'll let him take over from here and share about this awesome product that has been helping me out as well. I'm a part of his mentorship program. And here's John Limbacher.
All right. Thank you for that, Tommy. That was awesome. I wish I had made that 100 million for myself, but that was mostly for my clients. So, but that all came from online sales, from marketing. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. I'm going to share basically how you can create predictable income in your business and in your life. And it's pretty awesome stuff. You're going to want to take some notes. I got some cool stuff to share with you. It's a 4-step process, and let's get started. Let's get into it. So the first thing I always ask everybody, what do you want out of life? We all want different things. Some of us want to lay in a hammock and read a book, and some of us want to travel and do leisure and lifestyle and all of that stuff. But what I really get down to is, how about if you could just have all the money you ever wanted and the free time to spend it and to do whatever you wanted? That to me is financial freedom. And to me, there's really only one way to get there. Some people think there's a lot of ways, but really, to me, there's only one way, and that is right here in predictable income. If you don't have predictable income recurring and a way to get that, I don't see how you're going to get to this, unless you have a big inheritance, and most of us don't have that luxury. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and take myself off video so I'm not blocking your view of the screen here, and we will get cooking. All right. So predictable income and being a success in your own business, that's how you make a difference. We're all here, we're put on earth to do something, and most of us want to make a difference while we're here. And that truly is the only way to do it. But there is a big problem in our way. Most of us that have small businesses, there's a lot of confusion. There's confusion and overwhelm, and you got all these roads and signs and angles going every which way but loose, and you just can't figure out how to get there, how to do there. Now, most people, what happens is they wind up going to seminars, and they'll go from seminar to seminar, and they'll buy programs, and here's people lined up at the ATM machine to buy another program. And that's usually the way it goes. And really what you're doing when you're in that mode, you're looking for an easy button. And I got to tell you, that easy button, it doesn't exist. It's not in existence. It's not a real thing in business. There is no easy button. There's an easy way, and that's to know how and what to do. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys, because if you don't, you will get to the end of your rope. If you keep going to seminars and you keep buying programs and you don't get a clear path, you're going to get to this end of the rope, which is not a good feeling. And what that leads to is being broken. The broke part's not a bad thing. There's a lot of people that are broke, and there's no shame in that. But the broken part, when you're broken, that's hard to come back from. You can always make more money, But it's hard if you get to this point and you spend all this time and your spirit's broken. So I want to prevent that. I want to help you guys never have to deal with being here. It's okay to be broke, but let's not be broken. Okay. So how would you like, I'm going to share this. It's how to create predictable income like ad agencies. And this is where I actually learned this. I learned this from ad agencies throughout my career. And it's absolutely phenomenal the way they do marketing. It really doesn't miss. It's like when I look at small businesses, they're not doing their marketing. They're not running their business like the ad agencies do. And the difference is the success, the speed of success, and the level of success, and the level of frustration and failure. When you go to an ad agency, you eliminate the struggle and the failure. They're going to just slice right through all that nonsense and take you right to a successful marketing campaign. Now, I know what you guys are feeling. You're probably feeling like overwhelm. I hate tech. And don't worry, there's absolutely the stuff I'm going to share with you today. There's absolutely no tech skills or no marketing experience required. So don't worry about that. I'm going to share with you 4 easy steps to the freedom that you truly deserve. And this is predictable income. What I did was I created this ACT program. It's ACT, and it's a predictable client getting system. And it's based on the ad agencies. It's how they do this. So that's what you're going to learn today. And basically what it's going to show you how to generate leads, how to turn those leads into prospects, and then turn the prospects into paying customers. And the 4-step process, it's like a sales vehicle. That's exactly what it is. It's a sales vehicle. And we're going to start with the 4 steps here. It's grabbing attention with what we call a big idea. Once you've grabbed attention, you create demand and desire for your product or your service. You eliminate objections, and then you make an offer. And I'm going to show you how they do this. There's a real specific way they do each one of these things, and it's different than most small businesses. So once you learn this, this is going to change your business and your life forever. So pretty cool stuff. Let's get into it. So step 1, I already said, is the big idea. This is the attention grabber. And the reason it's called big idea was from a guy named David Ogilvy. Back in the 50s, he was an ad guy. And if any of you guys have seen the TV show Mad Men, the character in Mad Men called Don Draper, he portrays David Ogilvy. He is the character that is David Ogilvy from the 50s in the ad agencies. So every ad campaign that this guy touched literally turned to gold. And when he was asked what it is about him that can do this, can turn any campaign into gold, he said, it's the big idea. And everybody was like, what is that? What do you mean? And the big idea wasn't just, an idea that's large in size. It was what he called his process for grabbing attention. And he called it the big idea. And the thing is, he said what it is, but he never said how it worked. He never said how to do it. He just did this naturally. He had this unconscious competence that allowed him to create these big ideas that grabbed people's attention. And what he said about this was, he said any ad campaign that does not have a big idea is going to pass like a ship in the night, meaning it won't be seen. If you had an ad campaign, you would not want it to not be seen. It's not going to be very effective for you. And that's what happens with most small businesses. They create ad campaigns, they try and drive traffic to their sites, and they don't have this big idea to grab the attention. So what happens is they struggle, they fail, and they spend a lot of money, and they never wind up getting any clients, and they don't know why. So what I did was I broke this down by watching these guys do this. I actually broke it down and turned it into a formula. And the big idea has 3 pieces to the formula. The first one is a promise. And the promise is the promise of their desired outcome. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Let's just hit the 3 pieces first. So you have the promise. Next is what's called a unique delivery mechanism. This, in a lot of cases, will be your product. This is the thing that is actually going to give them the result to deliver on the promise. And then saying it in an intellectually interesting way that they've probably never heard it before. So let's start with the promise. What is the promise, or how do you get the promise? The promise is, what do they really want? And we're talking about your ideal customer here. And we look at we have a timeline process inside the ACT program. And the timeline goes like this. They have a current situation. This is where your prospect is. And then what they're looking for at the end of this is their desired outcome, the transformation. What does that look like? So when you're creating your promise for your big idea, you have to look at, what does the person really want? And then even a bigger idea than that is asking yourself why they want it. Sometimes the why they want it is where the real emotion comes from. And the emotion is like a buying trigger to make them want to purchase your product. Because remember, your product is going to be the thing that takes them from the current situation that they're in, and it's going to deliver the desired outcome. It's going to literally give them the transformation. And that comes down to the unique mechanism. So this is the thing that does the work and it delivers the results of your promise. So if you look at the kind of the timeline here of the big idea, you've got the promise, and sometimes you've got an expanded promise. Like in a lot of cases, people will want something out of this. And I'm going to use the example of diet. This is a huge industry, and a lot of people, they want to lose weight. It's probably one of the biggest New Year's resolutions in the world is, I need to take off some pounds next year. So there's a million different diet products out there, and the promise is that they want to lose weight and they don't want to work out and they don't want to diet, right? So the perfect unique mechanism here is a diet pill. Take the pill and lose weight. Now, the promise expanded is, this is how you can make the promise even better. Not just take the pill and lose weight, but take the pill and lose weight while you sleep. That's an expanded promise. Now, I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just using this as a purely fictitious example. We probably all know you don't just take a pill and lose weight while you sleep, right? But that's the promise. That's what they want, and why they want it is they want it easy. They don't want to work hard, So that's our promise, and that's how you expand a promise. You make it even a bigger promise. Now, next, you'll notice it's the promise plus the unique mechanism. What is it that's going to deliver that promise? What is going to allow us to lose weight while we sleep? And you could say, okay, well, it's this diet pill. It's this new revolutionary diet pill. And that's the thing that's going to do this. And that's our product. And now it's just a matter of saying it in a unique way that they've never heard it before. The problem here is, when you do this, when you finally figure out what your unique mechanism is, the rest of the market is going to copy you. And the next thing that's going to happen is, you're all going to be saying the same thing. I remember when the diet pill first hit the market, it was a raving success. But then all of a sudden, now there's 10 diet pills, and they're all making the same promise. They all have the same unique mechanism. It's the pill that delivers the result. So at this point, it becomes a price war. They're just going to pick the cheapest one because they're all the same. So what you do here is you expand the mechanism. So if you notice, I don't know how many of you saw this campaign, but this happened probably in the 1970s. And the diet pill stopped working because everyone had one and everyone knew it didn't work, right? Everybody tried it. The weight didn't come off. So they lost interest in the product itself as a whole across the industry. Nobody was buying diet pills because they'd all tried them. They loved the promise, but the promise didn't deliver. So now, instead of saying it's just a diet pill, there was a campaign that came out that said, our diet pill has this thing called Garcinia cambogia in it. And it's the unique ingredient that actually makes the weight loss happen while you sleep. So now all of a sudden, everybody was clamoring to purchase this diet pill with the Garcinia cambogia in it. So what happened next was, the truth of the matter is, all the diet pills had Garcinia cambogia, and it was the active ingredient in all of them. So within a very short time frame, they all saw this one campaign working like crazy, and they were selling these diet pills off the shelf like they were going out of style. So the next thing you know, all the diet pills now had Garcinia cambogia, was their leader in their ads. So it happened again. So they had to expand it even further. And you can keep going out with this unique mechanism and expanding it, as long as you have creativity, you can keep doing this over and over and over. So you might say, okay, well, our Garcinia cambogia is cold pressed. We don't cook the ingredients out, and the ingredients stay alive and they continue to work. And that's why ours works better. You always have to have something better than your competitors. And if you don't, what you're going to get is you're going to get price resistance, because if they all look the same, it's just whoever has the cheapest one is going to win. So you want to be able to eliminate price resistance. You want to eliminate skepticism. You want to eliminate price shopping and complaining about the price. When the proposition outweighs the price, that's when you win. That's when, if you're in an arm wrestling match, that's going to give you the competitive edge to get more customers than your competitors. So that's pretty much how you do this. I'm going to show you guys an example. I've been in the search engine optimization business for a long time. They call that SEO. And basically what that means is it's optimizing someone's website so the search engines will send more traffic to you. It's how do you get your site on the top. So anybody with a website that wants search traffic, that's what they want. If you look at the timeline, they don't have traffic, they want traffic. They know the search engines have it and can send it to them. So that's actually what they want. That's their desired outcome. So what I did here was I created a big idea. And I led the top of it here with biggest Google ranking loophole in years. So that's kind of interesting. They probably haven't heard that before. And then my big idea here is an SEO insider reveals how he uses AI to rank at the top of Google. So my promise here is ranking at the top of Google. And then here we've got 5 secret signals that reprogram Google's artificial intelligence and forces your site to the top. So it's these 5 secret signals. That's the unique mechanism that's going to deliver the result. I'm not even telling them what the product is or anything about the name of the actual product that I'm going to reveal to them. This is a webinar. This was a big idea to get people to sign up for a webinar. So it has all 3 key components. It's got the promise, how to get your site to the top of Google. It's got the unique mechanism that's going to deliver the result, the 5 secret signals that reprogram Google's artificial intelligence and forces your site to the top. And the unique part about this is it's coming from an SEO insider, and he's revealing the secret. So they probably haven't heard that before. And the other thing too is AI. How is artificial intelligence going to put my site at the top? So it's creating a lot of curiosity. So if you were somebody that wanted to get your site at the top, this would be really appealing, and it would have an incredible amount of curiosity that you would want to see this webinar. And then I have a visual of a woman playing chess with a machine representing the AI, and she looks like she's got the moves to win here. So that's how I put this big idea together. And I just wanted to show that as an example of one that was in play working. This worked really well. I was selling a product here that would do this. It would send these AI signals. And we probably sold over $500,000 of this product with this ad campaign, sending them to a webinar, giving them a presentation, very similar to the one that you guys are on right now, and then making an offer at the end. So that kind of brings us to step 2 here, which is creating demand and desire. How do you get people to just line up and fight for what you've got? It's the thing of creating demand and desire. And when you learn how to do that, you can literally put your sales on autopilot. And what I tell everybody is I say great marketing is what makes this happen. And great marketing makes sales obsolete. I don't know about you guys, but I love business. I love being in business. I love providing products that people want to buy and will actually help them. You know, I do a lot of products for business owners, and whether it be training or software or gizmos and gadgets, it doesn't matter. It's the thing that helps them get what they want. And I love that part of the business, but I hate the part of selling. I don't like to sell stuff. And I don't know, that might just be pre-programmed from way back or something. I just never saw myself as a salesperson. But when I learned how to do this, I realized I don't have to be a salesperson. All I have to do is get people a high demand and desire for what I'm selling. That's all I need to do. My sales go on autopilot. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you have to have sales. Well, you really don't if you have good marketing. And here's my proof of that. How many salespeople work at McDonald's? I've never seen a salesperson in McDonald's. Their marketing sells the product. It creates the demand and desire. The people show up ready to purchase. They do not need to be sold to. All you need is an order taker. So, you know, in your business, think about this. Would you rather make sales calls all day trying to convince people to purchase your product? And, you know, I've got this picture of the guy pulling his hair out in that process. Or would you rather just pick up the phone and take orders? I would rather just take the orders and deliver the products myself. That's what good marketing does. So here's the process of creating demand and desire. You have two things. Whenever you're talking to someone about something, when they're going to make a purchasing decision, you have two things at play here. You've got their heart and you've also got their head. And what I say is you've got to seduce the heart and convince the head. The convincing of the head is where the objections come from. So we're going to hit that in the next section. That's going to be step 3. But for right now, let's talk about them together because they really go hand in hand. So the way that you seduce the heart is with promises. The promise of the big idea is going to get the heart to fall in love. And the heart is where all desire lies. The heart wants what it wants. It's kind of like a little kid. And I think of the heart as your subconscious. It's the real driver. It's the thing that's really going to drive the force in your life. You know, it's your heart. And the heart is where you have to seduce the heart if you want to create demand and desire. Now, the next thing, the head is like the conscious mind. The head is like the adult. If the child is in the heart, the head is the adult. Now, what's the primary job of the adult? It's to protect the child. That's where the objections are going to come in. The head does not want the heart to get hurt. So the head is going to think of every possible reason of why this thing is not going to do what you say. It wants to not believe it. The heart doesn't have that. The heart just wants what it wants, and it wants it now. It's just like a little kid that wants some candy, right? It doesn't understand anything outside of what it wants. It doesn't understand like consequences. That's the job of the head, to protect the heart. So when it comes down to this, the heart is going to fall in love with your big idea promise. Now, next, you're going to have to go to the boardroom, and you're going to have to convince the head with charts and facts and figures and logic and reason. And if you can eliminate the objections, which we're going to talk about next, that's when the head will give the heart what it wants. And this is where you make a sale. This is where a transaction happens. The head says, okay, they've supplied sufficient proof and backing, and I believe it, so you can have what you want. Let's make the purchase. You know, it's almost like a husband and wife team. They're going to make the purchase together. So that brings us to step 3. When you've created demand and desire, the only thing standing in your way of a sale is an objection. So that's what we're going to talk about now. And in the ad agencies, they have a formula that eliminates any objection. And I always like to know where stuff comes from. So I did a little research, and I went back through history, and I actually found where their formula came from. And it was at the time I found it, it was 276 years old. And it was, as far as I could tell, Benjamin Franklin came up with it. And I call it the Franklin Belief Builder, because every objection comes from a belief. And, you know, these beliefs are where the objections come from. Like, they might not believe the product is going to do what you say. They might not believe they can do it. There's all kinds of beliefs that are going to form objections. And it's those objections that are going to kill you when it comes time to make the sale. You know, the sale is not going to take place because there's an objection in the way. So you have to eliminate those. And the first thing is to identify them. So you need to understand the beliefs of your prospects and what they're going to believe when you make your claims. So the next thing here is, these are some questions that form beliefs. This is by no means where all the beliefs are going to be, but this can unearth a few of them. The first thing is, does it work? Does it really work? So you're going to have to come up in your presentation when you're creating your demand and your desire. You're going to have to actually show examples to make them believe, to make the head actually believe that this thing is going to work. The next thing is, nobody wants to work hard. So the next objection is going to come from the head that says, oh, that's too much work. So you have to make it easy. And the other one is, like, back to the diet pill. A lot of people tried the diet pill and it didn't work for them. So, you know, they might believe that it works for some people, but can I do it? Will it work for me? That's going to be a big objection right there. So there's all kinds of objections. Those are just a few. But let's talk about, once you've identified the objection, you've identified the belief that's creating the objection, here's how we eliminate it. There's a formula that will literally reverse any belief and eliminate the objection at the same time. And it looks fancy here, it looks complicated, but it's really simple. The first thing is, when you have the belief, whatever it is, whatever the objection is, like if they say, I can't do it, that's their belief. Doesn't matter, you know, where it came from. It's a belief and it's true in their mind. So if they think they can't do it, you have to use the C here to make a claim contrary to that belief. So if their belief is, I can't do it, your claim is, you can actually do this. Now, we all know that that's going to go off them like water off a duck. That is just your opinion. They have an opinion, you have an opposite opinion, so you're at a standstill. That is just controversy. Nobody wants controversy. So immediately, once you make the claim, you follow it up with proof. That's where the P comes in. And the proof has to be third-party verification that is credible. Like this has to come from a source that is reliable, not you saying it. It's a third party verifier that what you're saying is true. And when you attach proof to your claim, now it's no longer just your opinion, it becomes a fact. Most sane people won't argue with fact because they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look dumb. They don't want to look stupid, you know, whatever it is. So they avoid arguing facts. So when you just turned this claim into a fact, what you really did was you just reversed their belief. And that automatically eliminated the objection. Now you could just leave it there, but the B here, when we attach it to the B, it makes it incredibly effective. And the B is the benefit of the product, the benefit of the transformation that the product delivers, the benefit of the promise of the desired outcome. So a claim contrary to their belief, followed up with proof, third-party verification that it's real, and attaching it to the benefits of the outcome. That right there is incredibly powerful. So the next thing, there's one more piece to this that I have found to just take the effectiveness of this to the moon, is three-dimensionalizing the benefits. Most people don't really know what the benefits are. They get this confused with features. There's features and there's benefits whenever you talk about your business, your products, your services. And features nobody really cares about. What they care about is the benefits. And the difference is a feature is what it is, and a benefit is what it does. So in the case of the diet pill, the features of it is it's conveniently packed in a small box. You can carry it around with you. You'll never forget it. It fits in your pocket. Nobody really cares about that. What they care about is what it does. The benefit is they're going to lose weight effortlessly. So that's what you want to attach to. You want to talk about benefits way more than features. So remember that a feature is what it is. A benefit is what it does. So when you identify the benefits, and you might want to bullet point these out in your presentation of it does this, and it does this, and it does this. Those are all benefits, what it does. You figure out how to say them and three-dimensionalize it. So when you say it three-dimensionally, most people just say it one-dimensionally. They do it practically, and that's so you can hear it. Like the diet pill, saying the benefit of this is going to allow you to lose weight while you sleep. That's hear it, right? That's saying it one-dimensionally. Now, the second one is the visual part. You can say that in a visual way so they can actually see it. And this is really important. Everybody has the ability to see things. Even a blind person sees images. Like they have to, or they wouldn't be able to function. These images, every person has a memory bank, and a memory bank is where all the images lie that they're familiar with. So you can access that so they can see things. You can get them to see what you're talking about. So an example here, if we're talking about a diet pill, you could say, okay, and I'm going to use a word here that's going to trigger their memory bank, and it's remember. When you use the word remember, all of a sudden they're going to go into a mode where they're going to pull a memory out of their mind, right? So I say, remember how good you used to look when you saw yourself in the mirror and you were 20 pounds lighter. Now they know what that looks like because they saw it. They remember it. So they can pull that picture up and they can visualize it. So now I've just two-dimensionalized it. The next one is I'm going to bring emotion into it because I want them to feel it. So at this point, when they come out and they feel it, this is going to put the third dimension to it. So what that's going to do, so I'm going to use a different trigger word here, and I'm going to use the trigger word of imagine. When I use the trigger word imagine, what's going to happen when I use that is now I'm going to put their brain into a different mode. And I'm going to evoke creativity. I'm going to let them imagine and create a picture here that probably doesn't exist. So I'm going to use that to forecast them into the future. So I'm going to let them actually feel it. So I'm going to use imagine. I'm going to say, imagine how you're going to feel. And this is for, let's put some premise to this so you can really get the effect of this. Let's say that our ideal customer is a woman that has put on a few pounds. She's going to her 20-year high school reunion, right? So we said, take the pill, lose the weight. Remember how good you looked when you saw yourself in the mirror and you were 20 pounds lighter. Just imagine how you're going to feel when you walk into the reunion and all the heads turn and everybody's talking about how good you look. So that's how you three-dimensionalize the benefit of losing weight, right? If you three-dimensionalize all your benefits, your sales are going to go through the roof and you're not going to have to do any selling. The stuff is going to sell itself. That's why I said good marketing makes sales irrelevant. You're going to sell stuff like crazy if you figure out how to do this marketing and you do it well. So that brings us to step 4. And step 4 is basically your offer, your special offer. Some people call it an irresistible offer. Now, this piece here, this is like where the actual sale comes in. This is where you're going to ask for the order. If you've done the previous 3 steps well, this one you could have a mediocre offer here and it would still sell. Now, I always encourage everybody to do their best on every step of the process. So I'm not going to encourage a mediocre offer, but I'm just saying if the other ones are there and they're strong, this one is going to follow through whether it's strong or weak. But here's some components of an irresistible offer. One of them is scarcity. You might say that this is only available to the first 5 people. And what that does is that creates a sense of urgency. Scarcity always creates urgency. You might say, you know, this offer is only available during this presentation. Like if you're selling from stage, you might say, you know, when I leave and go back home, this offer is off the table. It's a regular price. Another thing is exclusivity. You might say this offer is only available to people that are in a certain group. It's not available to any of the competitors. Like I used to use exclusivity when I sold search engine optimization. I would say, you know, when you hire me, I will not work for any of your competitors. So that's both exclusivity and scarcity. And it also brings in a sense of urgency that if they didn't hire me, their competitor could, and then they couldn't. So that's a couple of components to a really irresistible offer. Another one is number 3 here is the guarantee. Now, a guarantee is a form of risk reversal, and that can overcome a last hidden objection of their thinking, well, you know, this all sounds great, but what if it doesn't work for me? You know, what if I get it? What if it just, for some strange reason, I'm that 1 in a million, it just doesn't work for? The guarantee can reverse that risk and take that risk off of them and put it onto you. You can say, I feel so good that this is going to work that I'll give you a 30-day money back guarantee. You know, some people can't do that for whatever reason, but if you can, that could be a really good key component of your offer. Another thing is bonuses. I would say, you know, add things that enhance your offer. Don't just throw bonuses in for the sake of throwing bonuses in, but do stuff that makes sense to your offer. And then the last one there is rationalizing any discounts that you do. Like if you offer a discount, you want to give them a reason why. Otherwise, it just cheapens your offer. It cheapens your product, and they might not think it's worth it. So be careful with the discounts unless you rationalize them. So like an example of that would be, let's say somebody was doing an event and they were trying to fill up a room for a live event. And let's say that you had 100 seats in the room and you had sold 80% of them. So 80 of those seats were sold. You had 20 left over, and you say, you put out an offer and you say, I'm giving 90% off if you come to my live event. And here's why. I'm going to be recording this, and I really want the recording to show a full house. So 80% of the seats have sold at full price. So I don't want you to tell anybody, but I'm going to give you 80% or 90% off the full price if you'll do me this favor and take up one of those seats. You're going to get massive benefit. You get a great deal, and I get a benefit because I'm going to get a video with a full house. So that's rationalizing a discount. So it's really important that you do that if you want to put discounts on things and not cheapen your product. Because all of a sudden, if you said, oh, I'm offering 90% off my conference, they're going to think, oh, well, yeah, that's probably all it's worth. And they're not going to want to go, right? That's how you destroy your demand and desire that you created. So you don't want to do that. All right. So that is the 4-step process. And, we call it the sales vehicle. Some people call it a marketing funnel. Old school people just call it a sales process, and that's it. It's grab attention, create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make your offer. And that's the way the ad agencies do it. That's the way they create predictable income every time they create an ad campaign. It's almost like it's the closest thing to foolproof that I've ever seen. And everybody that I've seen do this, it literally changes everything for their business. It's like I tell everybody, it's just one home run marketing campaign can change your life forever. So that is what I had to share with you guys. Now I want to show you what I have to offer to help you do this. And it's basically, at this point, it's time for you to choose. Do you want to, be in that survive mode with people that are struggling because they're not doing this, like we talked about in the beginning, that struggle, that confusion, not knowing what to do and how to do it and all that? Or do you want to move to the thrive mode where you have predictable income and literally you're just one step away from changing your life forever by figuring out how to create a marketing campaign that will create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make that offer for you. So this is what I've created. We kind of talked about this a little bit in the beginning, is this ACT program that I developed. And what it is, you see over here on the far right side, there's 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. What I just presented to you guys today was in the middle. It was in the creation process. There's a big step ahead of this called analysis, where you actually figure out where the profit is in any market, who the most profitable customer to target is, how to identify them, how to figure out what their buying triggers are, the emotional triggers and the psychological triggers that are going to want to make them buy your stuff. So that's in the analysis piece. We look at competitors. We do a lot of analysis in the front end before we move into creation. So what I showed you guys today was the system, the predictable client getting system, the creation piece of it. Now in the program, and then once you create that, then the last piece, the T, is traffic. This is how to drive the right people to your offers, the right people to your sales presentations. So that is the key to the whole thing, but you got to have the first 2 in place before you do that. Otherwise, your advertising is just going to be really expensive. So I broke this down. I showed you a couple of the formulas here today. The whole thing has a lot of formulas in every step, and I created these formulas from observation. I wish I was brilliant enough to have come up with all of this. I just learned this from the ad agencies by observing them, watching what they were doing, figuring out how they did it, like the Benjamin Franklin thing. How he overcame objections was absolutely brilliant. I've never seen anybody give the formula for it, though. So that's where the brilliance in this program comes. It's me extracting all these formulas for you. There's over 30 formulas in the process. So it's all put together in what I call the ACT marketing protocol. Every formula you need to become financially free and have a predictable client getting system. It's the analysis, the creation, the traffic. And I actually put a workbook together here where as you're going through the program, you can fill this out and you've got your blueprint for how to make a successful business out of here. So here's what you get. You get step-by-step video instruction of every step of the process. There's full support. There's a weekly mentoring call, and this goes on as long as you want it. You know, that you can stay in the program and, you know, keep this support system as long as you want. We just showed you the fill in the blanks workbook. I have a bonus here I call Pass the Buck. And what this is, this was kind of a fun thing I put in here because I found that a lot of people are busy and, you know, they think this is, they feel this is really important, but they don't have the time for it. So I gave them a Pass the Buck bonus where you can have someone else go through the program, like an employee, or maybe, you know, a lot of people have kids that they put to work in their business. So anybody you want to put through here, I'll train them for you, and then they'll do the work for you, and I'll make sure that they get it right. So that's a cool thing. The automated sales attendant is a piece of software. It's interactive video sales. It's a cool thing. Once you're in, that's one of the bonuses that's in there. And we talked about no risk. We talked about the guarantee. And I created a unique one here. It's a shark bite guarantee. And it says, we're so confident that during the first 30 days, you'll be absolutely thrilled with the program. If not, if that is not the case, just let us know that the shark bit it and we'll refund you 100% on the spot. No questions asked. So that's pretty cool. Another thing, this is an exclusive thing just for our members, people that are in our ongoing support system. You get that automatically with the program, but we give you access to get a Zoom webinar platform, the enterprise level, for just $12.99 a month. So that's one of the perks of being one of our members. Another one is we've got all kinds of different discounts on other stuff that my company offers. And as a member, you get discounts to all of that stuff, anything that you need as you're building along. If you need website development, funnels, any of that stuff. So that's part of a benefit of being a member. And we normally charge $19.97 for the ACT program. But what I've done is I've created a special offer, a results in advance offer, where you pay $497 and then the second payment is deferred until you make your first $100,000 using this program. Now, that was the offer that we originally had. And I knew that this second thing, making the second payment, was going to create an objection and keep people, it was going to sabotage them from actually making the 100,000. That sounds ridiculous, but we all self-sabotage really easily. So what I did was I took that out. I said, I'm going to eliminate the second payment. When you make your first 100,000, all I want you to do is give me a video testimonial. So at $497, that comes out to $1.36 per day. That is pretty ridiculous when you break it down. It's like, what else could you buy for $1.36 per day? You know, a couple of bites of a Big Mac, that's about all you would get. Or you could get a program that's literally going to change your life. So today you can get the ACT for just $497. The ongoing mentoring is $29.97 per month. And that's a weekly call every Thursday that I do. And it's for anything you need in your business. If you want me to review your site, if you want me to help you with a big idea, if you've got, you know, questions about the program as you go through it, it's a great call. It's a great group of people. And a lot of people, you know, they're just starting out. They don't even know what to ask. So they just get on those calls and They listen to the other people ask questions because they're a little bit ahead of them, and they learn and they can advance really quickly because you're going to get access to people in the group at all levels of this. Some people have been in this for years and they're very advanced. They're making a lot of money and they're asking more advanced questions, and you get the benefit of learning from them as well. So that's pretty cool. Again, the Shark Bite guarantee, 100% money back if you don't like it in the first 30 days, which I haven't had anybody that actually took advantage of this yet. There was one person that did this, and right after she bought it, she found out that her husband had terminal cancer, and she said, hey, the shark bit it. I said, you don't have to tell me anything else, but she gave me the whole story, and it was very sad. But that was the only time I've actually had somebody that didn't like it and wanted their money back. But it's there for you if that is the case. So anyway, that's it. $497. If you want to get it, if you're serious about your business and you want to advance that, you want to learn how to create a marketing campaign that will put your sales on autopilot, go to internetdominators.com/act, ACT, and you go ahead and you can purchase it right there. And let's see if we've got any questions here. If anybody's got questions in the group. What do you think of the presentation? Did you learn a lot of stuff?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it, John. I really appreciated that. I did a lot of screenshotting on my
cool.
own, all the different, graphics you gave. I screenshot. I like to do that a lot.
Yeah. I did see one question pop up about the replay. There was a couple of people that got in late and they wanted to see what they missed in the beginning. So we did record this, and the replay will be up here within a couple hours. You'll get an email, and it'll have the link so you can go in and see the replay. Like, that's the beauty of this. As you go along, as you learn marketing, as you learn how to grow your business, you're going to come up with all kinds of questions, even some outside of marketing. And, we have questions that I address all the time on those Thursday calls. One thing, the call is generally on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I've been doing this call since 2008. So I've been at this for a while. And over the years, every couple of years, I send out a poll to find out when the preferred time for the group is. And every time it's always been the most people vote for Thursday at 11 a.m. So I don't know what that is, but that's the most valuable time for everyone to have access to me. So that's the time we picked. The other thing is all the calls are recorded. So if you've got questions, you can ask me ahead of time. You can send me an email or ask in the group, and I'll go ahead and I'll address the questions on the call. It's recorded, and then you can just watch it afterwards.
That looks good, John. Yeah, we can wrap it up. Nobody had any questions, it looks like.
All right, cool. I've seen a lot of thumbs up and hearts flying, and that's awesome. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I really love helping business owners, and especially small business owners. I've worked a lot with big companies, and you do great work for them and they make a ton of money. Like that first slide that you guys saw, I've literally made over $100 million for my commercial customers. And they're all using this process to make their sales. But the thing is, they're not nearly as grateful for it as small business owners. When you can share that with a small business owner and it really changes their life, I get some of the greatest testimonials and stuff out of that. It makes me feel really good. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to, follow up with Tommy or myself. And I hope you guys all join, and I look forward to working with you.